My mother has an interesting story about Yiddish from the times of the war. She must have been 15 or 15 years old maybe, when they were fleeing from their village eastward from the Germans. And my grandfather was in charge of the group that was fleeing. And they were moving with horses and carriages and cattle and whatever the village had. And they were moving eastward when one night one of the horsemen had a rash in his toches, and he was in agony. In Russia, during the communist regime, when you wanted to travel from one town to another, you had to get a piece of paper from the town clerk. Otherwise, you could not go from Kiev to Moscow. So since Jewish people were mostly merchants in their professions, many of them, they were the ones who needed that piece of paper. And when they went to the town clerk, they had to give the clerk something, a few rubles, a shmir, they called it, a shmir, in order to get that piece of paper. And that's how they developed the expression, the Yiddish expression, am Shmirt fortman. If you will give a shmir, you will be able to travel. And so it was a common Jewish expression, am Shmirt fortman. And so during the war, back to my story, when that horseman had a rash after a long, many hours of riding his horse, and he had a rash in his toches, he came to my grandfather and he said he was in agony and he doesn't know if he can ride the horse the following day. So my grandfather, who was a veterinarian, gave him ointment. And the next morning he was fine and he could continue riding the horse. And my grandfather turned to my mother and he said, "Zeist, am Shmirt fortman." And that became an expression in our family, am Shmirt fortman. And when we grew up in Israel, my mother used to say, "Me darf wissen, wenn zu schmieren." So that's the story. So many Jewish expressions, became part of our daily life, and this was a big one. I'm a Shmirt fortman.